Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to today's live session. And in today's session, I'll be talking about how to rebuild self-love after a toxic relationship. So, if you've just left a toxic relationship or you've been out of a toxic relationship for some time now, and you want to build self love, and at the same time, you want to build your confidence, you want to rebuild your identity, or you want to actually go through the stages of healing to become yourself again, then today's video is actually for you. So what I want to talk about is basically for you. So you have to stick around to the end and hear what I have to say. And the purpose of today's video is to actually actually make your healing journey faster. I'm going to explain why it will make your healing journey faster. And secondly, it is meant to actually empower you, give you the right tools so that you'll be able to know the right things you need to do for healing. And the third thing is that it helps to enlighten you. And the three reasons are basically based on the fact that all what I'm going to be telling you today is the things that I myself have done. They are the things I actually did that helped me to move from self-hatred to self-love. So they are things that I have tried and they have actually worked for me. So these are the things I'll actually be teaching you today. So that's the reason why I say it's going to help your healing journey faster, because those things I'm going to tell you today, they are the things that will actually help you. You don't have to go through the struggles or through the pains of finding them out by yourself. It is already self-made because I have tried it for myself and it has actually worked for me. So I'm actually bringing out to the public for free information. So make the most of what I want to say. I can just see myself, I'm just talking blah 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 blah. I'm just talking on and on and on. And some of you might be wondering, who is this woman? Who is this lady who just keeps talking and keeps talking? And let me introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth Akiniyi. I am a life and spirituality coach and also a relationship consultant. And I love to help women heal from the trauma of an abusive relationship, to help them regain their self confidence and also build their identity. And I'm so happy that every one of you is here today with me, ready to hear what I have to say, because I have a lot that I'm going to talk about. And let me start by saying that a toxic relationship, when you leave a toxic relationship, it will always leave scars. There's no way you will be in a toxic relationship that you won't have emotional scars. So you are bound to have scars even by the time you leave the relationship. So constant criticism in a relationship, when you're being constantly criticized by your partner, it will leave emotional scars of low self-esteem. Is your self-worth will be eroded. You will have this low self-worthiness because of the things that you have read. You're not good enough, you're not beautiful, you're ugly, you don't make anything good. All those negative words they tell you has an impact on your mind. And at the same time, constant emotional abuse and gaslighting will make you lose your self identity. It will make you lose your reality. You won't know what you are anymore, and it's going to take some time before you can actually get yourself back. So these are some of the scars that toxic relationship live on you. And most of these scars, they stem from the psychological, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual damage that has been done to the mind. So the mind is actually in a state of in a war zone. So most of the time it's in a fight or flight syndrome because of the things that they have to go through. So that is why most of these women, they find it very difficult to practice self-love after a toxic relationship. They struggle with self-love after a toxic relationship. And it's not because they don't want to do it, but it's just too difficult for them. They don't know how they're going to do it because that voice keeps living in their mind. Everything they've heard keeps living in their mind. Even though they're out of the relationship, they are still reliving the pain. They are still reliving the trauma of being in that relationship. And most of the time, most of them will self-sabotage their happiness. They will self-criticize themselves. They will self-gaslight themselves. And and this the cycle continues. If you want to know more about this, I made a video, a live stream about this some weeks ago. I think it should be like 3 weeks, yes, should be 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago that I made the video. I talked about why you struggle with self-love after a toxic relationship. So you can go to my channel page. When you get to my channel page, click on live. So when you click on the live, you will see the videos for the live. Search in all those videos, search for why you struggle with self-love after a toxic relationship. There I explain the invisible war that is going on between, that is going on in the mind, that causes all this emotional baggages or emotional imbalance that will make some women struggle with self-love after a toxic relationship. So I explain it there. But today we are not talking about that. Today we are talking about how you are going to build self-love after a toxic relationship. In the video that I made some weeks ago, I think it should be 3 weeks ago, I talked about my own personal experience. I was able to move what I went through as a child. I had a very traumatic childhood, and as a result, when I grew up with self-hatred. I hated myself for the things that has happened, and I blamed and judged myself, and it's really had an impact on my life. It had an impact on my relationship. There I explained it. So today I want to explain those things I did that helped me move from that self-hatred back to self-love. It was a lot of struggle for me because I was suffering from codependency. I was suffering from low self-esteem, low self-confidence, self-hatred. I was into people's pleasing. I was a perfectionist. Everything was actually wrong. But today, I'm no more that kind of a person. I'm actually back to my normal self. I'm happy. I'm contented with myself. I'm happy with myself. I don't judge myself for my mistakes or criticize myself for my mistakes anymore. I've moved past that stage. But before I went through that stage, there were some things I did that helped me to move out of that stage. And I will always say one thing: self-love is a balanced kind of love. Because I've seen people say they practice self-love, but what I see them practicing is not self-love. I'm not here to talk down on anybody. I'm not here to criticize anybody or to be sarcastic. But I'm just saying what I have noticed. It's not everybody, but some people I do notice that they do things like this. They say they love themselves, but what I see them practicing is not self-love. What I see them practicing is something different from self-love. Most of them that I see, some of them, they're practicing selfishness. And selfishness is not a balanced kind of love. Self-love is a balanced kind of love. It's a love that you have for yourself that is balanced. And it is a love that is unconditional towards yourself. So you love yourself for your strengths and for your weaknesses, for the good, the bad, and the ugly in your life. It's not just about you loving yourself for the good things in your life and hating yourself for the bad thing. No, you have to love everything, the total package. So when you love yourself in all totality, with your good, your bad, your ugly, then you're practicing self-love or unconditional love. But a situation whereby some people will say they are practicing self-love and they make decisions and choices that will sabotage their own happiness, then that kind of self-love is meant to be questioned. It's meant to be questioned. Or when you make decisions that will actually make you look like a bad person at the end of the day, or just because you want to satisfy your own urge or satisfy your own desire. You can see it's a different ball game entirely. Self-love is balanced. Selfishness is way higher, is higher, because you're putting yourself first above every other person's pain. And low self-love is actually worse because you're putting everybody up above your own pain. You don't care about your own pain. You put other people's way. It's good to be selfless, but when you become over selfless, whereby you sabotage your happiness, you quiet your voice, everything about you quiet it just to please other people, then it is not self-love. Self-love has to be balanced. It is something that you have to love yourself, and at the same time you should be able to love other people, because it is the love that you give to yourself that you will be able to give to other people. So it's a balanced kind of love. So that is what I want to actually talk about. So how did I move from being self-judgmental, being my self-critic, being in codependent relationship, suffering from low self-esteem, suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and moving into self-love, contentment with myself, and having confidence in myself. And that is one of the things that made me a coach today. And presently, I'm actually undergoing some course. I'm actually undergoing a course to become a therapist, a relationship and marriage therapist. And very soon, one day, you will hear me call me and say, wow, I am now a relationship and marriage therapist. I am moving up the ladder of success. So how was I able to do this? How was I able to believe in myself? Because I had a lot of self-doubt. I didn't believe in myself. So how was I able to do it? I did it because there were many factors that helped me to practice self-love. But in all these factors, there were four foundational factors. There were four foundational factors. Those four foundational factors are what I'll be sharing with you today. I'll be sharing all of the things that I did, self-care, affirmation, and all those things that I did that helped me to actually practice self-love. But the four founding things that I did that helped me to move from self-hatred to self-love is what I'll be telling you to do. So they are the foundation. Then every other thing, the self-care, the yoga, meditation, they are just like the building. It says these four core things that actually help me to heal. So I don't even know which one I'm going to start with, because mind it, because if the way I'm going to arrange it or talk about it, it might not work for you that way, because it started from number two from me, because if not for number two, I won't be aware of number one. So I'm going to talk about number one and number two at the same time. And number one is that you need to come to self-awareness, because I believe that when you are aware that you have a problem, that is when you can actually look for a solution. If you are not aware there's a problem in your life, you can't look for a solution. So that is it. So you need to be aware that there's a problem, and that problem, you need to find a solution to it. I just didn't come to the self-awareness just in one day. I didn't come to the awareness one day. It was a gradual step. It started with me having a nervous breakdown. So when I had a breakdown, I was actually going for therapy. I was on the treatment. I was diagnosed with self-esteem, all those things, post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder. Ooh, I was giving drugs. I was taking drugs. But I had a very good therapist then who told me, because she couldn't tell me everything. So she told me to listen to some podcasts. So I started listening to some podcasts on Spotify. So when I started listening to the podcast on Spotify, that was when I was able to build self-awareness. Yes, that was how I was able to build self-awareness of the things I was doing to myself, the decisions I was making, the what I was feeling inside of me. I became aware of everything going on inside of me. So some of the podcasts I listened to help me, to bring me to self-awareness, was the crappy childhood fairy. I don't know, maybe you've heard of the woman Anna, the crappy childhood fairy. She was really good. So it was really helpful for me. I'd listened to almost all our podcasts back then. I'm still listening to our podcasts up to now. I listen to every of our podcasts every day, because I believe I'm healing every day. I also listen to a AD Rain, I think, attachments alchemy. She also has a YouTube channel. The crappy childhood fairy too also has a YouTube channel, so you can actually search for their YouTube channel. Their videos are quite educative, and they can actually help you through your healing stage and help you to overcome trauma, and at the same time they can help you to build self-love. So I also listen to another podcast on Spotify, Overcoming Childhood Trauma. And lastly, I listen to Dr. Ramani. These people are very, very good people, professionals, which helped me to come to self-awareness, that I was actually sabotaging my happiness. I was sabotaging so many things about myself. So when I went back into therapy and I explained everything to my therapist, she now so asked me, do I read? And I asked her, yes, I read. She told me, then good, then you need to work on yourself. So the way she taught me, the way she actually took my case was, I don't know, maybe she saw something in me. Maybe she knew that I had something in me that was hidden and it needed to be busted out. So she introduced me to a book and told me to read this book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I'm giving you people all these things for free. So you better, so if you're going through the stage of self-sabotage, self-hatred, you need to write down these things and go search for them. Go search for them and read them. So by the time I read The Power of the Subconscious Mind, that was it. Boom. It was like, phew. I was like, I got the old gist. I began to understand what was going on inside of me. That lack of contentment, that feeling I had inside of me, that this deep, this unhappiness that I had. You can imagine, I was a poet, I was a writer, and I was getting international awards. But for each I was never happy. Can you just imagine? I was never happy. People were congratulating me here and there, telling me, oh, you're good, you're this, you're that. I got 2 awards at the same time. 2 awards at the same time. I was presented 2 awards at the same time. Now everybody was cheering me on, and I was happy. And you can imagine, I just kept smiling to everybody, but deep within of me there was this emptiness, this void. I don't understand what was causing the void. I was so unhappy. It felt like as if I did not do anything. After putting in so much work, so much sleepless nights, writing, doing everything, still when the award came, I felt dissatisfied. I felt like as if, because I was working so hard, I believe that if I got the awards, I got the recognition, I would be happy. But when I got the awards, when I got the recognition, I was not feeling happy. When I wrote my first book was a fiction novel. The intangible had the intangible arts. Yes, everybody was congratulating me. I was not happy. You can just imagine, I was not happy. I got so many degrees, I got so many awards. Apart from that, I got so many certifications, but I was not satisfied. So by the time I started reading the book, I now understood what was going on inside of me. The deep dissatisfaction I was feeling, the deep void I was feeling, the reason why I was having those feelings. This was then I started realizing that I need to change the way that I think. So that was when I started think it's changing the way that I think. I now put myself into therapy, changing the way that I think. I had to stop blaming myself, stop judging myself, being over critic towards myself. It took a lot of work. Took a lot of work, but I had a lot of resources. Apart from The Power of the Subconscious Mind, I read another book, The Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've heard of the book. I read the book, and I also got free resources online. I went on Google, I searched for free resources on how to heal the mind, the power of the subconscious mind, how to think right, how to move away from negative thinking. And I got so many free resources online on Google, which I downloaded and I started reading, and they were really helpful. They helped me move into the self-awareness stage and helped me to move away from being critical, from being judgmental, and from thinking that I'm not the best. No matter what I get in life, no matter what I achieve, I just feel like as if I'm not good enough. I just feel like as if I'm a failure. Even with the fact that I had the accolades, I had the awards, I had the recognition. I wrote up to 3 or 4 books, but I was not contented with myself. You can just imagine. I was not contented with myself. So I was able to move past that, and that was how I started moving away. I started accepting myself. I started stop doing so much. I stopped doing so much. It was then I started moving away from people's pleasing, because I always loved it when people. I was always the center of attention. I want people to always congratulate me. I want people to always say, "Oh, you are the best. You're very intelligent. You're this. You're that." So I stopped putting in so much effort into doing everything to make everybody just congratulate me or give me one recognition or the other. I started saying my worth in myself, that whether I write a book or not, whether I get an award or not, that does that is not me. What really makes me is inside of me. I don't need to do all that just to make anybody love me. Whoever loves me will love me for who I am. It took me time, and that was in 2023. I was able to overcome that feeling that I need to do so much for people to be able to recognize me. So that was how I was able to move away from that situation. So there were two things that I practiced. The first was self-awareness, and the second was I had to go for therapy. So if you want to move, want to build self-love after a toxic relationship, it's important for you to seek the help of a professional. Seek the help of a psychologist, of a trauma-informed coach, of a therapist, somebody who can guide you through the recovery stage. It is important. And at the same time, check in within yourself. You need to practice self-awareness. Get free resources. Get resources online. Watch YouTube videos that can help you through the healing stage, and at the same time listen to podcasts that can help you through the healing stage. All these things, they really help me a lot. So I'm going to say it again. I listened to the Crappy Childhood Fairy. She's a very good woman. Anna, may God bless her, because she really helped me a lot. She has a channel on Spotify, and she also has a channel on YouTube. And at the same time, I listen to the Rain, the attachments alchemy. Yes, the attachments alchemy. And I really learned a lot from this woman. I really learned a lot from her. She was the one that even helped me to move past codependency. Because I really learned a lot from her. I understand what was going on with me, why I was moving into codependent relationship, toxic relationship, and that was how I was able to heal myself and move away from that. I didn't even spend much time with my therapist, because my therapist now, like my therapist said, you came here for healing, but as it is, you're actually becoming the healer. This is very this is very funny. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. I don't want to say this, but she had to tell me the last day of my session that you have a gift in you, and it's hard time you need to explore that gift and bring that gift to the surface, because you have something beautiful in you which you've been hiding for so long. And she told me maybe that's the reason why you've been feeling so much dissatisfaction, because you've not been able to come to your true purpose. You're doing so much, and it's high time you need to find out that true purpose that is within of you. And she sees this healing ability, the ability to bring other people healing. So she looked at me and said, maybe that's the reason why you pass through what you pass through, so that you can actually help other people to heal. So it is important for you to go for therapy, and at the same time practice self-awareness. Get free resources. Read books. Don't just say everything is going to depend on my therapist. Read books. Get free resources. Do all those things. So the third thing I did after that was to forgive myself. Yes, I forgive myself. If you want to build self-love after a toxic relationship, you need to forgive yourself for every mistake you made. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that you happen to fall into the arms of a wrong man. You are a good woman who happens to fall in love with the wrong person, and it is not your fault that this has to happen to you. So you don't have to be so hard on yourself, but you have to understand that you are human and that you can make mistakes. And when you make mistake, it's not meant for you to pull yourself down, but it's meant to help you see that you can do better. You can do better, because failure is part of the success story. So if you fail, that is not the end of the world. For you to be successful, you have to first of all experience failure. So for you to have a happy relationship, you first of all have to sometimes go through a not so good relationship, a toxic relationship sometimes, so that you would know the difference when you see true love and when you see a toxic partner. So you need to forgive yourself. By forgiving yourself, you're practicing compassion towards yourself, and you are gently letting go. And I tell you, when you practice healing, practice forgiveness during your healing, it's really helpful. It's really, really helpful, because it helps to let go. You let go of the burden you're carrying. You let go of the pain, the poison you might carry inside of you. And that is when healing comes. It becomes very easy for you to heal. So that is one of the things you need to do. You need to let go. Let go of the past. let go of whoever has hurt you and forgive yourself at the same time. If you want to heal and move into self-love, you need to forgive. So another thing you can actually do is you need to grieve. You need to grieve. It's not okay when you pass through something traumatic or something that has an impact on your emotional health and you say, oh, you're strong. No, you need to grieve that situation. You need to grieve. But what is not acceptable is for you to stay long in the grieving state. You need to grieve. You need to grieve the loss of time, the time you invested in the relationship, the energy you invested into the relationship, and at the same time, the loss you experience in the relationship, the loss of love and everything. You need to grieve it. I went through the grieving stage. My therapist made sure I went through the grieving stage. I had to grieve everything. I had to grieve me not being able to experience love in my childhood, especially motherly love. I didn't have motherly love while growing up because of I was accused of something I didn't do, and because of that, I became my mom's number one, and my mom I became the number one enemy of my mom. You can just imagine a mother eating her child so much, and because of it I suffered so much. So, and because so many negative things were happening as at that time, strange things which I can't explain here, I moved into self-judgment, and I was really hateful towards myself. If you want to know more about this, you can actually go back to my other videos and search for it. It's actually a live stream. It's a live stream. I did this some weeks ago. I think it should be 3 weeks ago. Yes. And the title of the video is Why You Struggle with Self-Love After Toxic Relationship. There I explain everything I passed through in my childhood, which was really traumatic. So I had to grieve not having my mother's love. I had to grieve not for not loving myself, for judging myself, for being a people's pleaser. I had to grieve the times the years I spent wasting time on the wrong relationship, on the wrong people, thinking that they will accept me, they will love me. I had to grieve all those times because, and one of the most things that made me grieve was that I knew I was no more going back into writing. I knew I was no more going back into writing, content writing, poetry writing, fiction writing. I knew I was not going back into it. So I still felt the pain. I knew that there was an higher calling. There was something greater than just writing poetry, publishing books, having my books. I knew there was something higher. So I had to grieve the loss that I'm saying bye-bye to this. I'm saying bye-bye to poetry. Sometimes I still do write poetry, but one or two lines. I don't, but it's not something that I have to now put the whole of my body, my mind into. I found a higher purpose and I found an higher calling. And that is one of the reasons why you're seeing me talking to you here today, because I've had a fire calling. So in the next 3 to 4 months, you might just see me pop up here with a certificate telling you that, wow, I've actually completed my course and I'm now a full-blown therapist. I'm actually working on it right now. And I need all your blessings, all your cheers for me to move past the stage. And I know God is going to take me to a much more higher place. Yes, I know God is going to take me to a much more higher place. So these are the 4 foundational things I did. I actually became self-aware. I actually went for therapy. And the third thing is I forgive myself and I learned to grieve. I learned to grieve. After grieving for some time, I let go. And now I realize that it's time for me to embrace a new start. It's time to embrace a new me. There's something in me that needs to be discovered that I've not seen, that is left undiscovered. So that was when I moved into coaching. So those are the 4 foundational things I did. There were other things I did, and that was I started I did affirmations, I did a lot of meditations, I did a lot of yoga, I did a lot of self-care. I made sure I ate healthy, I made sure I slept on time, I drank a lot of water, I did a lot of exercise. I took myself out, I was involved in skincare, body care. I make sure I went to places, I went out to places, visited different places, hang out with some old friends. So all these things were the things I did afterward, because I've actually done the core things, the foundational things. I still do the foundational things up to now, because it's meant to help me continue healing. Because if I say, okay, I'm 100% healed, something might just pop up from my childhood again that would just make me, ah, and I don't want that. So I still go through the foundational things, and at the same time, I still practice my meditation, I still practice my yoga, I still practice my skincare, I still make sure I sleep on time, I eat healthy, all those other things I did. I make sure I treat myself with so much compassion and with so much care. So I noticed that some people, these are the first thing they do. They speak positively to themselves, they don't say demeaning words to themselves, they speak positively, they practice affirmation, they practice skincare, they do meditation, they do yoga, but something is still missing. They still feel that something is still missing. There's a deep void in within of them, but they can't explain. So such people will say self-love is a fallacy. It's not true. And that's not the real reason. The real reason is that they've not been able to identify the foundational problem, and they've not been able to apply the foundational solution. So you can imagine trying to build a skyscraper with no foundation, trying to build a house with a foundation. It's not going to work. It's not just going to work. I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, but it's just the truth. It won't work. So before you can build the house, you have to first of all build the foundation. So, and building the foundation is the most difficult aspect. Healing yourself of pain, trauma is the most difficult aspect of it. It's very difficult. It's the most difficult aspect. If I tell you that it is the most simplest, I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm not being truthful to you. All what I'm telling you today, I did this, I did that, was came with struggles. It came with struggles. It came with a lot of efforts. I had to have a lot of willpower to fight and to say, I'm making up my mind that this is what I want to do. So it is not something that you just decide, oh, I'm going to do it, and you do it today, you do it tomorrow. It has to be consistent. So that is just how it is. So practicing meditation, yoga, doing eating well, going out to take care of yourself, going to the spa, doing or going out to places that will actually enlighten you, make you feel happy, visiting places, going to the restaurants, eating out, and all those things. Those are the secondary things that you can do to love yourself. You can show to pamper yourself, but you need to first of all start in within of you, and that is understanding the foundational problems. It is when you can know the foundational problems, that is when you'll be able to put in the foundational solution. So that is what I have to say to you two guys today. So these are the things I did that helped me move from self-hatred to self-love, and within a year I was able to stop self-sabotaging myself. I started setting boundaries. I moved away from codependent relationship. I moved away from people that would want me to keep proving myself. You know, they used to call me then Mrs. Smith. They call me the Iron Lady. They call me a sort of names. They call me Mrs. Smith. They call me this lady Autogracia. There was no name they didn't give me, because I was always carrying everybody's problem on my shoulders. I was always fixing everybody. If there's a problem, it is me. If there's a problem, it is me. I'll be the one to solve it, always solving everybody's problem. But when I started practicing self-love, I stopped I stopped being responsible for everybody's problem. I'm not I'm not in a relationship to fix anybody. I've stopped fixing people in relationship now. Why should I be fixing somebody in a relationship? If somebody is broken, they need to see a therapist. I'm not the one that has to be fixing them, and that is what I've been doing, helping people, fixing people, fixing people, fixing. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I still decided to still be a coach, so to talk about it. So during some of my counseling sessions, I don't when I started, I would always want to talk, but now I don't talk. I listen to them. I let them spill everything out. So when they spill everything out, that is when I pick one or two things from there. That is when I know how to treat the case. So some of them are like, Why are you not talking? I'm like, I'm listening to everything you have to say, because I realize that the best thing to do as a coach, if you want to help them heal, is you have to be a good listener, and you have to be very, very empathetic. And that is one of the things I learned in my coaching experience. So I have to be very empathetic. I just listen to them, and I don't feel like as if I have to carry all their weight on my shoulders. No, I I give them one or two ideas that will help them come to the realization of what they need to do to help themselves heal. Not that me telling them this is what you have to do, this is what you don't have to do. No, that is the work of a therapist. I'm a coach, and it's my own duty to just guide you, enlighten you, to help you in that path, to make you aware of the things that I have actually done that really helped me in healing and becoming a better version of myself. So these are the things I'm going to talk to you about today, and I hope you've gotten value for the time you spent with me. So I don't know what you've learned from everything I've said so far, but if you've gotten value, I want you to go into the comment section and tell me what exactly you learned today, and what are you going to, how are you going to apply it into your life. I want to read it to the comment section, and I want to cheer you on. So I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really I love you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much, because you've been supporting me, you've been watching my videos, and I love you so much. Thank you for the support. And for those of you who are seeing me for the first time or watching my videos for the first time, don't just watch this video alone. After you finish watching this video, the next thing you need to do is to go into the go and click on the subscribe button. Click on that subscribe button. You that is watching me there, click on that subscribe button. Once you click on that subscribe button, then you're part of my channel. And also make sure you click on the notification bell, so when I make a new video, you won't miss any new video, because you'll be getting the notification that Elizabeth Akini is making a new video. But like I said, for some time now, I'm not going to be making videos. I'm only going to be having live streams, because I am God has actually been taking control. I've been having a very difficult time presently, so I'm having some challenges, and because of those challenges, I can't make videos. I can only make live stream, because it's going to take a long time for me to film the videos. After filming the video, going through the editing stage before uploading it and everything, and I don't have that time. So at that time, so as it is, the only thing I can do is a live stream. I can talk about this in a live stream, because I don't have to do any editing and any uploading. So for the time being, I'm going to apologize. I'm going to be able to make any videos. I can only be making live streams till when I am through with my program. So once I'm through with my program, then I can actually start making videos again. So guys, I hope you got value for your money, and I hope you enjoyed everything I've said so far. I don't just want you to watch this video once, watch this video twice or thrice. Learn, get the details, and as begin to apply them into your life. So I want you to know that you're beautiful, you're lovely, and you deserve the best in life and in relationships. So go out there and shine your light, because you are beautiful inside out. So I'll see you in my next live session, which is going to be next week. So take care of yourself, guys. Bye.